What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I do have a new song out recently called Tides, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, I had a thought that came up recently. As you know, I do these regular DEC health check videos to see when the flywheel is going to be activated again, and in doing them, one thought that occurred to me, and I have not found a hole in it yet. I have not found a flaw in it yet, but I'm open to the idea that I could be thinking about this the wrong way, is how can we help the team in terms of getting to that flywheel faster? So what do I mean by this? Okay, so and it's not just the team, but the ecosystem overall. So it's not just about helping the team, but obviously the team is the one that's facilitating all these credits transactions. So as I talked about in a recent video, we're at about 105 million DEC. The team distributes about 40 million of that per week, just based on credits transactions, right? The back end credits transactions. So there is a good amount of capital coming in, anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000, depending on the value of DEC. And in my head, I was like, okay, people earn SPS for all types of things within the game, right? Whether it's land, whether it's ranked battles, whether it's staking, whether it is, well, it used to be LPs, right? But, or validator nodes. So there's a variety of ways that people are earning SPS. Now, if people just go and stake that SPS, this is a moot point. That's not what I'm getting at. But when people potentially sell that SPS for DEC, in order to transact within the game economy, right? Because in order to use the market, you need DEC, right? But you can use DEC or credits. Now, here's the thing, right? Where it's like, if people are selling SPS to buy DEC, then there's going to be buy pressure on DEC and sell pressure on SPS, right? SPS goes down, DEC goes up. But there's a neutral way to look at this, in which I'm wondering if this would be the better option for folks to take advantage of. Now, the main advantage, right? The main advantage of this is that you will not be paying any fees. At least I don't believe you would be paying any fees for this. I haven't purchased credits in a while using crypto, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Right now, if you go and swap and just use one of the LPs, SPS for DEC, Tribal Dex, or BSwap, whatever, you're going to pay like the 0.025% fee, right? It's small. And if you go through Hive Engine, I guess you could avoid it, but then you have to wait and see, what the buy-ask spread is, and if that's going to be worthwhile, and, if you're going to put like a limit order there. If you just want to make fast transactions, swap is the better way to go, but you do pay that fee. So what is the alternative then? Well, what if you were to take SPS and buy credits with them? So what does that do? You would no longer have sell pressure on SPS, but you also wouldn't have buy pressure on DEC. If anything, what ends up happening is that you are transferring the SPS that you have in your account to the team's account, at which point they will then be paying out back-end transactions of credits with DEC. So instead of you buying DEC off the marketplace, we're actually helping to deplete the company's DEC, which means at some point that buy pressure will come in, right? Because whether it's you buying it today or the team buying it at some point in the future, that buy pressure will have to come in one way, shape, or form. But at least in my thought here is that it doesn't cause any sell pressure on SPS, and it saves you, like I said, a minimal fee, right? Maybe it's not worth your time. But it also helps to lock in the value that you have of SPS if you're planning to spend it at that time or in the very near future. Now, why would we be wanting to go through this? Is it a worthwhile exercise? Is it something that we should participate in? Could it potentially hurt the team? There's a lot of questions that I actually don't have the answers to, right? I know that if the team does not have the capital available on Hive Engine, for example, or on the Hive blockchain, they may have to pay a bunch of fees coming in to purchase that that DEC. Meaning that if they don't want to sell the SPS, and maybe this is what I should have led with, if we're giving the team SPS, I believe that they're going to be as responsible with it as possible, meaning that it's going to be the last thing that they sell if they have other options to do so to buy the DEC required to pay off the backend transactions. You get what I'm saying? And again, maybe we can confirm this with the team during a town hall or whatever the case is, but that's just my thought here is that, well, if we're giving the SPS to the team, they can find creative ways to use it, or they can just sit on it if they have other capital that can come in and buy the necessary DEC, right? Maybe they're earning Hive, maybe they're, which is already on the Hive blockchain. Maybe they're earning other rewards across the Hive blockchain, right? Maybe it's easy for them to onboard capital in larger amounts, and so they can take the credit card, money that comes in, or fiat, I should say, that comes in from credit cards and other transactions like that. Again, I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm just wondering if this should be an option that we should consider anytime you're planning to make a transaction in the market, right? Or intending to. So instead of, like, let's say you win a bunch of SPS, let's say you win 1,000 SPS or something, and you're like, okay, I'm going to sell this 1,000 SPS, and then I'm going to go buy cards on the market, right? I'm going to sell it for DEC, and then go buy some cards on the market, or whatever the case is, something for land. My thought is that, what if we were to treat it differently and say, okay, instead of going and selling it, you just transfer it to the team, you purchase credits with it. So essentially you're selling SPS, even though you're not actually selling it, you're just transferring it to the team. They're giving you credits in return. They're paying out the DEC on the back end transactions. That gets them lower and lower and brings us to the point where they start becoming major buyers in the DEC economy. Again, like, all this stuff is just kind of shifting around when the buys and sells happen. I think there is a benefit. So to break it down, and I'll close with this. The benefit for the user is that you potentially pay less fees, and you can lock in the price of SPS in case you're worried about its volatility, right? Or you're worried about the volatility of DEC, for example. So DEC goes up and down, but credits, they stay the same. So you can just buy credits with that SPS. You lock in the value of that SPS. You lock it in with credits, and then you can go and spend that capital whenever you want, not worrying about, is DEC going to go further away from PEG, right? Maybe you miss out on the upside if DEC goes up, but you get my point. And then the benefit on the other side is that, well, the team, as long as it's not too detrimental to them or detrimental to them at all, they would be looking at this and saying, well, we're going to be the last ones to sell SPS. We don't want to put that sell pressure on SPS. We actually want it to be higher, so the rewards look good, so the payouts look good, so the economy and the ecosystem look good. And I would trust them as a steward of SPS more than your average individual who's just, looking to transact and operate with their own self-interest, which I'm not even demonizing. That's just how it works, right? But obviously the team is interested in the health of the game and the game economy. So I would trust that more than the individual, because the individual is usually going to act in their own self-interest, as they should. But that's just how I'm thinking. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Just trying to get a little meta with this and think if there's a way in which we could be operating better as a community for this ecosystem. But that's all I got for you in this video. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.